So I'm using these paper bags to make copies of this sound insulation so that I can easily replicate it when I get the new stuff in. All this is gonna need to be cleaned up. It's all moldy. Not bad. Just surface rust. Really good. Excellent. Not rusted in bad either. It's a good thing I'm pulling these off because there's a lot of moisture under here. A lot. Hey. Sometimes it's just that easy. Woo. There's a decent amount of rust down here. Maybe it'll be fine. I'll remove the rust, paint it. Fine. the heat shielding. How much does this weigh? That's about 17 pounds worth of material. Cool, so should be enough to replace what I took out. So on another YouTube channel, this tar material gets removed by a spray called PT80, I think it's PT85, which I could not find anywhere. But the active ingredient in PT85 was PTFE. So I have this chain and lube penetrant liquid wrench that has Surflon ceramically reinforced PTFE. And I figure if PTFE removes this stuff, then surely ceramically enforced PTFE will remove it. So I'm gonna try it on this and see if it works. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it just wipes right off like the other stuff did. Let's see. Give it a few seconds. And use one of these. That looks pretty good. It actually looks like it's working. I'm gonna try another kind of blaster. PB blaster. This stuff is stinky though, so I held off using it, but I wanted to see if it would do something. This stuff works real well. All right, this is what I would use from now on. Brake cleaner. Brake parts cleaner. This is probably the rustiest spot on the chassis here. Hoping I can just remove all this rust. Okay, I'm gonna use the Beyond Ballistics rust remover recipe, which you can see here. It involves citric acid, all-purpose baking soda, and dish soap with water. Now he said 100 grams of citric acid per liter of water. So I'm gonna cut this in half. I'm gonna do half a liter, 500 milliliters. So I've got that here in this jug measured out. So 500 milliliters of water. And 63 grams of baking soda. So I'm gonna do 32. And then I'm gonna spritz this on the rusty parts of the chassis and see if it removes the rust. I'm hopeful that it will. Okay. So this is set to grams. Tear that. And I'm gonna do, since it was 100 grams, I'm gonna do 50 grams. Probably didn't have to be perfect, but. All right, that is citric acid. Stir that up. And 32 grams of baking soda. All right, 32.7. That'll do it. All right, so that is going. That's fizzy, as expected. And some dish soap. That's probably good to go. All right, I'm going to put this into a spray bottle and try to use it on the car. This should react pretty fast and hopefully get rid of the rust in about 30 minutes. But that's with, in his video, that was with soaking. So may require more than one application plus brushing. Pour some of this in here. Now let's see if this does the trick. Okay, I'm gonna try this on the rusty parts here. We'll leave this. And hopefully it'll remove some rust. Well, the homemade rust solution did not work for me, at least on this application. So what I've decided to do is switch to vinegar, steel wool, and a brass brush. I'm hoping, I think you can already see it's taking paint away. But I think hopefully I can get rid of some of this rust as well. Oh crap, that's a full hole through. It's a hole all the way through. You can see that's a hole straight through, and so is that. I got a couple little pinholes there. And it is dirty. Real dirty. And I smell gasoline. These pipes have never been changed. Those are the original crimps from the factory. All right, I got a clean towel. Hit it with some Prep All paint wipe. Stuff is supposed to be your last wipe before painting. This stuff, Prep All. Hopefully that's good stuff. Then I got some Rust-Oleum Cherry Red. All right. All right, to fix the pinholes, I'm going to use some quick set JB Weld. It says it sets in 6 minutes, and I assume it's paintable. So, parts. I asked ChatGPT about this, and it said it's okay, so I'm going with it. All right, here we are, back in the trunk again. Gonna get that rust out there, make it shiny once again. All right, load up our steel wool with vinegar. It's already looking better. It's pitted. So pitted. I guess I should bother to pop that out. Pop it out, pop it out, pop it out, pop it out. Plastic razor blade, pop it out. This is weak. Eating through. So I'm just dealing, this is bent, so it's got a, I'm not sure, it was bent here in the corner, it was bent a little bit here, and I'm trying to bring it out, so I'm using just a hammer and a piece of wood underneath to kind of hammer it out. Sure where the bend is. I think I'm probably gonna have to remove this. Rust. I'm also kind of hoping that this vinegar I'm using is it's like household vinegar. It's sold in like the baking section of the grocery store. It does pretty good at removing this rust, and I think you're supposed to use baking soda or something to like neutralize it. I think wiping it and then wiping it with the paint wipe before I paint is probably fine. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this thing last. You know, I don't want this thing to outlive me. I just want to like get it good, so I can impress my wife by driving around the mountains in a convertible. Playing some cool 90s music on my cassette player. Also have a bead on this really cool module that this guy made. This guy named Johan in the Netherlands. He's a talented engineer, talented electrical engineer, and he made a custom PCB that can be fitted onto the factory cassette player head unit in the BMW and play Bluetooth over the speakers. So I'm trying to, I know he's like currently on like a road trip in South Africa. I sent him an email. Hopefully when he gets back from his trip, by the time I'm working on stuff like that, he will be able to send me one. That would be great. I would be ecstatic about that. Because every Bluetooth solution I've found for this car is kind of janky. You have to have like a fake cassette put in, and his uses the old disc changer connection, which I no longer have because a gorilla yanked it out. So I'm hoping I can get one of those PCBs. Otherwise I'll have to make one myself, which will be another probably 6-week project that I have to do. Hey, big chunk of bitumen tar paper came out of there, that's good. Vita Vita bitumen. Bitumen apparently is the name for that tar paper sound material that, or the tar paper material that they make sound deadening out of, which I found out recently from a guy in Beamer forums. Tracking down the materials that they used in this car has been kind of a pain because I just don't have the knowledge. So, you know, if I'm looking for like I think I plan to do like the weather panel and the doors, just use some 6mm plastic sheeting. And that's kind of what was in here before. It was like a vinyl thing with like a velvet type back. That I don't know if it was factory or if somebody put that in after the fact, but I think the original was like a foam, like a polystyrene or a polypropylene foam or something like that. And I just don't know. I haven't been able to find a sheet of it anywhere, so, and I wouldn't be able to I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to form it with a heat gun or anything, so I'm just gonna use plastic sheeting because that's fine. And then, but materials like that, and like the material for the back, in the back seats, there was like a rubber mat that went in over the sound deadening, between the seats and the sound deadening. And mine is completely rotten. So I was trying to find a replacement, and I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't want to pay $500 to replace those mats in the back seat by buying BMW parts. So I'm gonna have to come up with a solution, which I think is just gonna be rubber mat. We'll see when we get there. This is almost ready, I think. This is like good enough territory. I can kind of remediate this rust and move forward. Gonna do a big wipe down of this whole area with the paint stuff. Maybe do some brake parts cleaner first. Kind of do the majority of cleaning. This is going to be 10,000 times better than it was. This is a JB Weld. cardboard cutouts of all the sound deadening. This is the piece that went behind. It looks like it fits. But there's no reason this shouldn't be covered. So I'm thinking I'll just patch the areas that I want to add new stuff to with pieces of paper. Just tape them so that I have good patterns. Man, come on. This stuff is bad for air bubbles. Tried to put that on as nicely as I could. I still got an air bubble. Cool.